Okay, Marty, we're about to. Oh my god, the notifications. We're about to read based on popular recommendation from my fans on Twitter. Johara, I hate you. Oh my god. I can't believe I have to read this out loud. Marty! On Cherry Stems and Grape Chapstick by Miss Artaka. Oh my god. I'm gonna skip the summary. I literally had to invent this tag. I wonder why. It wasn't often that Manita had Minetta. I want to say Minetta? Okay. It wasn't often that Minetta had friends over, so when his mom found out that a friend from UA would be coming over to their house that weekend, she left into the kind of action a mom often does to entertain new guests. Before Kaminari made it through the door, a pot of tea and a mountain of snacks awaited him. And from time to time, while Minetta and Kaminari did the kinds of things teenage boys do when together, Marty, mostly playing and yelling at video games, looking at Arrow magazines skillfully hidden in the pages of manga, and talking in lurid detail about the most attractive female heroes and UA students. His mom would stop by to drop off more tea or snacks. On her 4th or 5th trip, she brought a bowl of fresh, shiny cherries with an extra bowl in which to discard the pits and stems. Marty! Let me know if you boys need anything, Minetta's mom said giddily before closing the door to his room and bounding down the hall. Cherries. Kaminari looked speculatively at the bowl as he finished off a bowl of rice and nori crackers and realized he couldn't remember the last time he ate anything unprocessed. They're her favorite, Minetta answered, filling his mouth with cherries after popping off the stems and discarding them into the extra bowl. Minetta watched Kaminari pick up a cherry and squish it between his fingers, then eye the blobs on Minetta's head. Unexpectedly, he reached up and grabbed onto one of Minetta's blobs, giving it a gentle squeeze. Minetta jumped, projectile-spitting cherry pits at his friend. Marty. The hell, Kaminari? Minetta snapped, flustered. Kaminari reared back, equally flustered. Sorry, he yelped. I just wanted to compare. Minetta scowled, his hands reaching up to guard his head. Compare to what? Marty! Kaminari grinned. Boobs. They're pretty close. Minetta's stomach filled with dread. Kaminari, you saying you touched boobs before? His friend looked sullen. No, not yet. On my ass. Minetta breathed a sigh of relief. Kaminari was a good-looking guy. Yeah, I would know. And to be honest, he probably would touch real boobs before he did. But Minetta still attached a sense of pride that neither of them had made it that far for the time being. Kaminari's head tilted in a startling cute way like a puppy we've been new. It's kinda weird though, aren't those things usually pretty sticky? Minetta thought for a moment, this is out of character, and reached up to squeeze a blob on his head, then shrugged. It changes. My diet's been kinda shitty lately and I haven't taken a dump yet today, so they're a little drier than usual. Ha, gross. I'm gonna become Thanos and snap like half the writers on Archive of Our Own out of existence. Mineta appreciated Kaminari's dorky laugh. That's the one thing I'll have in common for Mineta at the moment. Hey, check this out. Kaminari threw the cherry in his fingers into his mouth, stem and all. Once he'd eaten the flesh of the fruit and spit out the pit, he made a series of weird faces for a few seconds before spitting the stem into his palm, tied into a neat knot. Beaming with pride, he showed it to Mineta, who gasped. Pretty cool, right? No way. Whew. We're back. Whew. Mineta appreciated Kaminari's dirty laugh. Hey, check this out. Kaminari threw the cherry in his... Had to run around. Okay. Hey, check this out. Kaminari threw the cherry in his fingers into his mouth, stem and all. Once he'd eaten the flesh of the fruit and spit out the pit, he made a series of weird faces for a few seconds before spitting the stem into his palm, tied into a neat knot. Beaming with pride, he showed it to Mineta, who gasped. Pretty cool, right? No way, Mineta marveled. You can tie a cherry stem with your tongue? I've wasted so much time trying to do that, but I still can't do it. What's your secret? Kaminari shrugged. I don't know, I just practiced it a few times and I figured it out after a while. Kinda like learning how to ride a bike, I guess. Of course Kaminari would. Mineta knit his brow and picked up a cherry. He followed the same procedure Kaminari did. Eat the flesh, spit the pit, tie the stem. Only the tie the stem part wouldn't happen no matter how much time Mineta spent fiddling with it in his mouth. So he spit out the cherry, picked up another, and tried again, and again, and again, and again, and again, until he felt sick from the amount of cherries he'd eaten, and a pile of untied spit-covered stems sat in the discard bowl. A loser, we been knew. Kaminari snorted with laughter he couldn't contain, and Mineta couldn't help but be charmed. Marty, I'm calling the police. Well, he mostly felt sick and depressed, but also maybe a little charmed. Marty, why do you want to learn to tie a cherry stem in your mouth so bad? Kaminari asked, regaining composure. Because it's really friggin' cool, Mineta howled, ripping off two of his head orbs in frustration. And you did it like it was no big deal, even though you're as bad at girls as I am. And if you went to school and did that, you'd have hotties falling all over you left and right. And Mineta trailed off when he noticed Kaminari's focused stare. Fixed on the orbs clutched in his hands. He looked down and back up at his friend, perplexed. What? Calling the police, Marty. Those little blob things from your head. Do you ever pretend they're boobs? Mineta stared, watching Kaminari gesture to an ample phantom bosom. I'm calling the police. You know, like, put him here. At this point, he gestured well out in front of his own chest, and Mineta could detect the hint of a flush and look at how I'm not even a third of the way there. And give him a squeeze like he made a motion like honking a bike horn, and his cheeks grew even redder. Dude. Kaminari let out a sheepish laugh. It's dumb, right? I do that all the time. Ooh. I don't like it. I do not like it. Without hesitation, Minetta stuffed the blobs under his shirt, sticking them to his chest. Even with the amount of give and elasticity his head blobs had, they made a crude, somewhat lopsided set of boobs. Minetta accentuated by pulling tight on the back of his shirt, fitting the fabric to his... This is so wrong. On so many levels, dog. Minetta fitting the fabric to his small frame and creating a convincing hourglass shape. What do you think? Minetta mused to Kaminari, wiggling his eyebrows. Whoa, Kaminari marveled. That's like at least a beaker. I already measured 84 centimeters. Minetta gestured to himself. Go ahead, test him out. Marty. Kaminari hesitated, meeting Minetta's eye. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Who gave him an encouraging nod. His whole face lit up, and Kaminari took a handful of the fake bosom, squishing tight with his fingers. Oh man, this is just like the real thing. Minetta imitated a bashful pout, followed by an elongated, high-pitched shriek. Oh, Becky! This is all so sudden! Minetta whined in an over-the-top falsetto. All this time, this is what you really wanted to do to me, pervert. Kaminari snorted again. Oh yeah, Yorzo. Marty, I'm calling the police. This isn't what All Might wanted when he came to teach at UA. This isn't what Aizawa would want. This isn't what Midoriya would want. Midoriya. Oh my god. Your boobs feel so nice, he whimpered, playing along. I can't believe I finally get to do this. Yeah, Yorzo? I don't know how to say her name. Minetta gave a smug grin, puffing out his chest even more. Ah, I see you're a man of culture as well. They both broke out into a peal of laughter, falling against the side of Minetta's bed. I personally think I'm impartial to the idea that Minetta sleeps on a dirt clod. I think it would match his aesthetic fairly nicely. Minetta looked over at Kaminari and grinned. When he wasn't trying so hard, Kaminari actually was a good-looking guy. How about best-looking guy? What do you mean? But he was also obsessed with figuring out how to be cool. He already is cool, so this is very out of character, in my humble opinion. And to a large part, figuring out what girls thought made a guy cool, that he probably didn't see his own set of charms. Woof! Minetta couldn't hope to compare to someone like him. No, you could not, you absolute bucket of trash. He sighed, deflating. Man, Kaminari, I'm so jealous of you. Kaminari raised an eyebrow at Minetta. Me? Why? I mean, all things considered, you've actually got a good shot with the girls at school. You're already pretty good looking. Trying to talk like Minetta would put so much saliva in my mouth, dog. Kaminari chuckled. You really think I'm good looking? Ooh, he fidgeted shyly with a lock of his own hair. Gee, thanks. The only person who's ever really said something like that to me is my mom, Marty. No, really? Minetta reassured his friends, beginning to list off Kaminari's charms, points on his fingers. Your quirk is really awesome. You have a good fashion sense, and your spiky hair gives you a cool look. You're muscular. You're a good kisser. Geez, you're embarrassing me, Kaminari muttered under his breath, drawing bashfully into himself. He looked over at Minetta. But anyway, I don't know if I'm a good kisser or not. Bullshit, Minetta huffed. I saw how fast you tied that cherry stem into a knot. So you can how. Know what? Minetta found the look on Kaminari's face when he was confused about something oddly endearing. So if you can tie a cherry stem into a knot, that means that's supposed to mean you're a good kisser. He fished Kaminari's tied cherry stem out of the discarded stems in Pit's bowl, inspecting it. I looked it up once. It usually takes people 30 to 45 seconds to tie a stem in a knot, but you did it in like 8? That's gotta be a record. Kaminari looked at the knot skeptical. Sounds fake, he grumbled inside, staring languidly at Minetta's chest as it was starting to droop. Honestly, I'd probably be terrible at kissing. Even if I could get a girl to make out with me, she'd probably be super disappointed if she thought tying cherry stems into knots made people good at kissing. The fact that this exists is worse than anything I may have ever come across of, and in the beginning, it is very clearly stated that it was maybe not so ironic. So at this point, I think it's safe to say that Thanos was right. I've never watched Infinity Wars, I never planned to watch it, but the premise that Thanos kills half of us is a premise I can get behind. Minetta wanted to argue the point on his own behalf, that he'd spent more time than he cared to admit watching people kiss on TV shows and in movies, practice on pillows, his hands, and a few stuffed animals he now had trouble looking in the eye. But honestly, it wouldn't mean jack when it came to kissing a real-life girl. You won't ever get to, because nobody loves you. You're a little trash boy. A little larva beneath my foot. He sighed, slumping against the bed, the blots inside his shirt forming a shelf for his drooping chin to rest on. Halfway there. Yeah, but at least they'd consider kissing you since you're good-looking. No girl wants to kiss a shrimp like me. Kaminari slumped forward in dismay, but sat up. Don't say that. Maybe not girls, per se, but I know some people who'd be into you. Hill, Minetta shot back up. His ego was easy to reinflate. Older women. Kaminari had a determined look in his eye. I've seen it on the internet. There's a ton of smoking hot women in the 30s and 40s who like to date guys a lot younger and shorter than them. They spoil them like fancy little dogs. You'd be right up in their alley. Minetta's lascivious, that's a word, grin stretched ear to ear. Spoiled, huh? Yeah, I could get used to that. Marty, he thought of Midnight telling him how cute he was, how much she loved taking care of him and keeping him safe and snuggling to a big Ricky Biz, and then, yeah, well, you'll never get that, because you're a little trash dumpster, and nobody loves you. Oh, my microphone's up there, okay. And then another terrifying thought made his stomach drip right into his ass. There's no way a super hot older woman would want anything to do with me, no matter how into shorties she is. His despair sent him tumbling forward, his blob chest making him bounce against the floor. Midnight's totally gonna want an experienced kiss. Midnight doesn't want you, buddy. At all. Kaminari followed his friend's sigh with one even more despairing, falling forward onto the— Boy, if you don't shut up! Come at me. I'm busy. I'm trying to read. Exactly. Out loud.
This becker's ugly.
No! Get away! That's a DDS. That's a Didius. No, what? Get out. That's a Didius.
A Didius?
A Didius. Get out!
Nice job.
I know.
How did you... Oh, you must have broken it. It's so ugly.
Well, that's okay, I guess. falling forward onto the floor with a thud, his face directed towards Minetta. They looked at each other and sighed again. Yeah, Kaminari reached over to idly poke at Minetta's blob boobs. Man, when it comes down to it, we really just are a couple of loser virgins, huh? Minetta's sad eyes drifted up to the poster of Mount Lady on his wall. Despite his terrible internship experience, he just couldn't resist that body. He imagined himself finally kissing a smoking hot babe only to smell slop. I don't want to imagine that. Only to slobber all over her face like a dog in heat, getting utterly destroyed by the string of insults and potential punch in the jaw to follow. His eyes drifted down. His eye to Kaminari's pouty lips and wait. Oi, Minetta said, gripping Kaminari's shoulder. Kaminari looked to Minetta. You ever practiced kissing before? You mean like on an orange half? No, wait, what? That's a good idea. Yeah, it feels more like lips than your hand, plus it tastes a lot better. Yeah. Minetta squeezed his friend's shoulder again to bring himself back to his original thought. I mean, have you ever practiced kissing on someone else before? Isn't that just kissing? Kaminari sat up a bit, looking suspicious. No, stupid, not if it's with a girl. Not if it's not with a girl. That's... Are you asking me if I've ever kissed a guy? Dude, I'm not gay. Kaminari sat up straight. I mean, there's not anything wrong with being gay. It's just... Kaminari gasped. Minetta, are you saying... Thanos looking really good right now. No, idiot, I'm not gay either. Minetta shut up, waving his arms frantically at Kaminari. I'm the most not gay student in class 1A. No, the most not gay student in the whole school. Minetta took a calming breath and straightened himself up, facing his friend. Look, practice makes perfect, right? Kaminari nodded slowly, sure. And we don't want to look like loser virgins to the first girls we make out with, right? The pieces were coming together, right? Oh, okay. So, okay. If you think about it, it's just like combat practice at school. If you don't fight someone in a familiar environment first, you won't be able to fight in an unfamiliar environment later. Since we're in the same boat, if we're both kissing each other right now, we'll know how to really do it later, right? Minetta could tell from the look on Kaminari's face that everything finally clicked. Oh, great idea! Kaminari's hands clapped together at the realization. Of course, it makes perfect sense. No, it doesn't, Kaminari. Baby, look. It doesn't. Marty. Minetta nodded knowingly at Kaminari, seated on their knees, facing one another. They both nodded, smiling at the formulation of a truly fantastic plan. After a few seconds of marveling at the great idea, they spent another long moment staring at each other in dead silence. It's not a great idea. It's a horrible idea. Who would want this? Nobody want... Listen. Why would you write this? And why isn't it 100% BS? Why is this actually, like, non-ironic? I think I can call the police. So, how do we practice kissing? Minetta asked, grimacing. I don't know, man. You were the one who suggested it. Kaminari shot back, looking just as anxious. Minetta chomped the inside of his lip, searching for thoughts. Yeah, you're gonna need to, 'cause you don't got any of those in there. How do people get ready for kissing? Oh, chapstick, Minetta blurted, straightening himself. Chapstick, Kaminari repeated, fishing around in his pockets. He found a tube and yanked it out, holding it in front of them. Yup, chapstick, Minetta announced, nodding furiously. Can't make it out with a babe with chapped lips. Okay, I'm gonna add a lips to it. Okay. He reached for the tube but hesitated. You go first. It's yours anyway. Kaminari nodded, popping off the cap with shaky hands and applying liberally. Mineta couldn't help but notice how his friend's pillowy lips gave under the pressure. See, the real thing is, you should stop. When he finished, Kaminari handed the tube to Mineta, who took it and immediately started applying it to his own thin, dry lips. Ooh, Marty. Damn it, he thought, not even Kaminari's gonna want to kiss someone with lips that feel like sandpaper. What's this flavor, anyway? Grape? Mineta exclaimed, examining the tube. It was all they had in the convenience store when I bought it, Kaminari explained, his tone faltering. As he took the tube back from Mineta, both of their hands shook. Hey, Kaminari, chill out, it's just practice. Mineta's voice was practically at a yell. I am. I am calm. Kaminari's equally loud voice cracked. Are we gonna do this or what? I wish you wouldn't, Marty. I never should have agreed to this. Mineta gulped. He knew Kaminari was right. No turning back now. If they ever wanted a shot at kissing someone the right way, first they had to kiss someone the wrong way. And who... and who better to fail at kissing with than someone equally bad at it? Literally anyone other than Mineta. That's literally... The one rule that this fandom has is to keep Mineta away from every other character on the show. Except for Endeavor, because they can have each other. But this rule has been broken. This fix shatters that rule in a way that not even the most accepting of stans would want to condone. Slowly, they both started leaning forward, inching their faces closer and closer. Okay. Mineta could hear Kaminari's shuddering breaths first, then as he approached, he felt them on his cheeks, a mere millimeters apart. I'm so tired of this, of everything. Mineta pinched his eyes shut, pressing his lips against his friend's. Stiffening at the sensation of mouth to unfamiliar mouth, he took them a good few seconds to loosen themselves and relax enough to release the tension around the mouths. Hold on, how long does this go on for? Okay, so just not that long. The scent of grapes from their weirdly sticky mouths was empowering, but in a way Mineta found it intoxicating. After a moment of their tense, unmoving faces pressed together, see, why? Kaminari was the first to change position, tilting his head ever so slightly and loosening his lips enough to fit better against Mineta's still stiff mouth. Kaminari's readjusted made Mineta reposition himself too. And follow his friend's lead, he also loosened up the muscles of his mouth. I hate this so much. I hate this. I hate that this exists. Now a bit more relaxed, their lips fit together perfectly, flushed like two pieces of a puzzle. He was surprised to feel Kaminari shaking against him, but Mineta wasn't faring any better. His shaky grip on his own knees felt clammy, sweat from his palms seeping into the fabric of his jeans. For a long moment, it was all either could manage, but even Mineta knew sitting stock still wouldn't impress any girl. Hashtag 911. Monetta's lips parted for a release of suction, making it a tiny squeak that made his heart jump. The second time he went in, his lips instinctively made a motion like he was trying to eat Kaminari. At least that's how it looked to Monetta in movies and on TV. Anyway, Kaminari followed his lead, pulling away. I don't like it. Pulling away and meeting his mouth again with the same popping sound each time, parting lips and coming back together because something of a challenge between them to see who could up the ante, as Monetta was sure actual kissing could be from time to time, till he felt Kaminari's I'm so tired of this in particular. Until he felt Kaminari's tongue slide across his lips. The feeling of sudden burst of his friend's hot breath against his skin sent shivers down Monetta's spine. Is this how Todoroki feels all the time? But only pushed him to do the same. At least it's a Tododeku intellectual. But to be honest, you should probably stay quite far away from this fic, okay? But only pushed him to do the same. He had to practice if he didn't want to be a messy tongue kisser after all. Sighing into the kiss, he slid his own tongue against Kaminari's, gently starting and was trying to... Great flavored things always taste like medicine, Monetta thought with dismay. Also that thing about tying cherry stems with your tongue, making you a good kisser, 100% true. To his own surprised instinct made Monetta reach for Kaminari's hair, grabbing handfuls and tugging his head deeper into the kiss. Monetta felt impressed by his own intuition, knowing any girl would go crazy for a romantic move like that. They'll step on you, as evidenced by the way Kaminari sighed into him in a surprisingly erotic way. Question. No. But evidently Kaminari would not be upstaged. He pulled Monetta in close by the waist, his forgotten fake chest pressing into Kaminari. Even without making direct skin contact, Monetta felt the heat radiating from his friend, his tense muscles loosening in Kaminari's arms. But Kaminari had clearly gotten carried away. Monetta felt a hand traveling into his shirt, goosebumps rising under Kaminari's static touch, a slight prickle coursing through his fingers. Question. No. A hand rested on one of the blouse Monetta still had stuck to his chest gently at first, and squeezing it in a way Monetta knew would make any girl make a very lewd sound. Okay. But it had been a while since the sticky blobs had been tucked into his shirt, and as expected, the adhesive wore off and it came loose in Kaminari's grip, falling unceremoniously out from under his shirt into the floor, rolling away from them. Hopefully there wasn't any girl Kaminari would have to worry about that happening with. See, the first thought I had when I just read this, the first thought I just had was, if this was happening with Toru, I don't know, Invisible Girl, you wouldn't be able to see if she was wearing, chicken cutlets or something. So, maybe it would happen. Without missing a beat, Kaminari took his hand out from under Monetta's shirt and reached for one of the orbs on his head. Finding one and squeezing lightly again. But they don't go there. The sensation of someone touching him there was unusual but not entirely unpleasant. Every single day he rips 20 of those off of his head. And then he starts bleeding. So I don't really think that's good. Maybe he had a new fetish to explore, but that was for another time. Marty, For now, he continued to practice taking someone's breath away and definitely wasn't getting so carried away that he forgot to not be messy with his tongue, but found himself getting so caught up in his task that both boys lost their balance and Mineta fell back onto the floor, taking Kaminari with him. Marty, I hate the human race. I'm so close to being done, Marty. Mineta felt a pang of embarrassment. He would have preferred to be on top so he could practice how he'd like to be positioned on top of an older woman. But Kaminari seemed to be getting a lot out of their practice, judging by the way his body literally tingled at Mineta's hands, traveling across his neck, an erotic power move only someone with an electricity quirk like that could do. At any rate, Mineta kind of liked being on the bottom, the feeling of another person, a comforting weight on top of him. Choke him out, let him die. And even though he was much smaller than his friend, he didn't mind at all. It didn't help, or maybe it did, that Kaminari still had Mineta's head orb in his hand and continued to squeeze it tighter with each kiss. It just felt so weird. Weird, but very, very good, even if a little distracting. Mineta quietly wondered if the girls he'd make out with in the future would be into it too, but mostly he was concentrated on how good it felt right this second. Okay. In fact, as Kaminari and Mineta became more and more entangled during their practice session, gasping for air and struggling against one another, Mineta found himself less concerned with then and more focused on now. At first, he convinced himself it was to keep a mental record for the first time he'd do that with a girl, but honestly, who knew when that was going to be? Even if it was just Kaminari. Or maybe because it was Kaminari rolling around on the floor with him, panting and grasping each other more and more with every second. Thanos, this is your cue. Even if it is just practice, it felt better than anything else he could ever hope for. Mineta wondered just how much of the line blurred for his friend when he accidentally bumped something very solid between Kaminari's legs. Marty, I'm calling the police. 911, what's your emergency? A quiet knock on the door made Mineta's heart shoot into its throat. Danky, Mineta's mom cooed from the other side of the door. Do you want to stay for dinner? I'm making hamburgers. Minora said that was your favorite. Mineta and Kaminari pulled apart with lightning speed, drawing themselves up to a seated position on their knees as if on ceremony. Yes, ma'am, Kaminari called out, the crack in his voice obvious. I'll let my mom know I'm staying for dinner, thank you. Okay, I'll let you boys know when dinner's ready. Don't mind me. She walked down the hall, both boys unwilling to move until her steps had faded into the hall and out of earshot. Mineta's palms felt clammy again. Marty! He wasn't sure how much of the chapstick and spit he wiped away with the sleeve was his and how much was Kaminari's, but he noticed his friend doing the same thing out of the corner of his eye. They turned to face each other, staring in sudden silence, their jaws equally clenched. Good practice? Kaminari asked, holding up a shaky thumbs up. Mineta let out a breath he felt like he'd been holding for years. Yeah, good practice, he returned, thumbs up, his hands also shaking. Kaminari laughed timidly as he tried to straighten his hair. The static charge built up around him, maintaining its disheveled shape. He cleared his throat. So, you think a girl would like it if I kissed her like that? Marty? Yeah, definitely. Mineta nodded. His nervous gaze traveled back to his knees, white-knuckled hands clutching the fabric of his pants. You know, you're pretty good too, Kaminari started smiling at his friend. I don't think the cherry stem thing was all that important. Well, it definitely helped your case. Mineta couldn't stop thinking about Kaminari's static touch as it trailed over his skin. Any girl would go crazy for that. But he couldn't fully articulate how good it felt, at least for... Don't! How about you don't? I mean... Mineta remarked, we could probably still use a little more practice. Yeah, Kaminari agreed with a nod to Mineta's surprise. There was a period of heavy silence before Mineta spoke up again. So do you want to practice some more?
Marty, I'm calling the police.
Marty half expected his friend to decline, but sure, Kaminari said. Like, next weekend, his bashful smile half hidden under messy hair was a really good look for him. Monetta's heart did a somersault in his chest. Is that a heart attack I'm hearing? Marty, too bad the police can't get there fast enough to save you. Yeah, or like maybe even after dinner. Maybe they could snag a better tasting lip balm at the convenience store before then. Marty! Okay, my rating 0 out of literally 1,000. Actually, okay, I'll give it a 1 out of 1,000 for the Kaminari, for like the alone Kaminari bits, because I love my boy and he is amazing, but everything else, I hated it. Horrible. I mean, okay, writer, if you're watching this somehow and you stumble across it, the writing is very good, but you shouldn't write it. Okay, that's enough. I don't like it.